Example 1. X plus 2 in the first bracket and x squared minus 3x plus 4 in the second bracket. The thing to note is that the second bracket has 3 terms, so that makes the expansion just a little bit more difficult. X times x squared is x cubed. X times minus 3x is minus 3x squared. X times plus 4 is plus 4x. Then we have plus 2 times x squared is plus 2x squared. Plus 2 times minus 3x is plus times a minus is a minus. And that's going to give us 6x, minus 6x. And the last term in the expansion is plus 2 times plus 4, that's plus 8. Gather together like terms. Here's one squared term. Here is a second squared term. Remember to include the sign. So we've got just the 1x cubed. Minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1, so that's minus 1 x squared, which we'll write as minus x squared. I then have, here is an x term, here is an x term. So I have plus 4 minus 6 is minus 2x, and I've got the plus 8 at the end. A second example. This is quite difficult, and it's unlikely you would have to deal with a problem like this. Manageable, but just a bit more difficult than the last one. So 2x times 3x squared, that gives us 6x cubed. 2x times minus 4x is minus 8x squared. 2x times minus 5 is minus 10x. Plus 1 times 3x squared is plus 3x squared. Plus 1 times minus 4 is minus 4x is minus 4x. And plus 1 times minus 5 is minus 5. We want to gather together like terms. Well, here is a squared term. And here is another squared term. So what do I have? While I have the red pen, here's an x term, and here is an x term as well. So what do I have then? 6x cubed, I don't have anything to add to that. Minus 8x squared plus 3x squared is minus 5x squared. I have a minus 10x and a minus 4x, that's minus 14x. And I have minus 5 at the end. Example 3. We've already met problems of this sort, but this one's a bit more complicated, I think. What happens if we have something like this? Well, the first thing that we're going to do, of course, is to write out the bracket twice. Now, we have, that's 4u times 4u is 16u squared. I have a 4u times a minus 3v, so 4 times minus 3 is minus 12, u times v is uv, minus 3 times 4 is minus 12. Now, I could write that as vu, but since, remember, hope you remember VU and UV are the same. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to rub that out and write it as UV. And then last term is minus 3V times minus 3V. Minus times a minus is a plus. 3 times 3 is 9. V times V is V squared. We want to gather together like terms. To gather together like terms. And here we've got 2. Here are the 2 like terms. So 16u squared minus 24 uv plus 9v squared. Fourth and final example of this video is an interesting one. Here we have a bracket, a square bracket, which has a fraction in it. Fractions are everyone's favourite. Let's see what happens then. So first of all we'll write the bracket. Twice. Then we'll expand as we normally would. So 2a times 2a, I'll put these lines in again because this is a difficult example. 2a times 2 is 4a squared. Now, I have a positive multiplying a negative, so I've got the sign's going to be negative. Then I've got 2a multiplying the fraction 1 over 2a. Everyone happy with that? I hope you are. 2a times 1 over 2a. Then I have this term here, which is going to be minus, and that's 1 over 2a multiplying 2a. And the last term, negative times a negative is a positive, and I've got 1 over 2a multiplying 1 over 2a. Need to simplify now. Remember fractions. If I multiply 2a and 1 over 2a, this 2a here multiplies the 1. So I end up with 2a over 2a. Exactly the same thing happens in this term, so the 1 and the 2a multiply. So we have 2a over 2a plus multiplying fractions. You can see the 2 fractions very clearly here. 2 tops multiply, 2 bottoms multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 2a times 2a is 4a squared. Now, cancelling fractions. 2a over 2a is 1. 2a over 2a is 1. On the very last line then, 4a squared minus 2 plus 1 over 4a squared. To explain the multiplication of 2a and 1 over 2a, we could write the first 2a as 2a over 1. You've seen that sort of thing happening, I think. And then we can see the 2 fractions clearly. Multiplying tops, multiplying bottoms. That gives us 2a over 2a, which, as we saw in the example, eventually simplifies to 1.